Capitalism in America promised freedom, but for black people, it came wrapped in chains. Racism was not just a glitch, it was part of the design. What's up, family? Today, we are going in deep. Capitalism in America, how it affects black people, and why racism is not just about hate, it is about power. This is not just history, it is happening right now. Let's talk. Watch and pay attention, and I will share my thoughts later.
Remember in the video that I did the other day telling racist white people that they never know what type of black people that they may be approaching with their racist bullshit out there in them streets? Yeah, y'all need to be real careful because some black people are out there just waiting. They are just waiting for an opportunity, and they will dare you. They will dare you to act on your racism.
Some bullshit, man.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm finna make sure I got his motherfucking tag number. I'm gonna make sure I got that. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fuck. Fuck y'all.
I'm with you. I swear.
Well, make sure we got people coming. We got people coming. We coming. We coming, baby. We coming after your ass. We coming after your ass.
You got the right niggas. You got the right ones. Y'all niggas been hanging and burning us up. You ain't showing this shit. Fuck y'all shit.
People damn killing. People, mothers' kids is getting killed. Mothers' kids are getting killed over this bullshit. I got your motherfucking tag now. We from the motherfucking street now. We from the motherfucking street. We got your tag now, and you will see us again. You will see us again. Yep. Fuck this. You right. Fuck that. You'll see us again. And you better not got kids. You better not got motherfucking kids. We coming at every motherfucking body. We coming at every motherfucking body. Every motherfucking body. We coming at every motherfucking body. Every motherfucking body. I got you.
I see it on Facebook again. I'm pulling back up.
When I think back to when Savannah got popped in the mouth out there in them streets in New York, and then I think about, go back even further to the Montgomery Brawl, the Battle of Montgomery. When I think about how my African brothers and sisters are rising up over there in the countries of Africa, when I think about how the Nottoway plantation burned to the ground, when I think about all that is happening, there's a shift happening in the atmosphere. It's like after November 5th, 2024, and we all saw who won the election, and we learned how other groups of people, minority groups of people voted, we all just seem to say collectively, all right, bet. And then when Target made that announcement that they were rolling back DEI, and how black people seem to just know on a telepathic level, and we all galvanized and said, we gonna make you the example, Target. We gonna make you the example. And I just saw that Target is doubling and tripling down. They just fired 2 executives who were standing firm in DEI. They had a history in supporting DEI. And out of all the executives that they chose to fire, they chose to fire those 2 people. And I believe those 2 people belong to minority groups of people. So the CEO still has his job, even though his pay was reduced. He still has his job. And then they turn around and fire the people who were in support of DEI. They didn't fire the CEO. They just reduced his pay. Okay, Target. So instead of a boycott, I'm pretty sure you can consider this a clean break. Yeah, we done. But black people have been collectively sticking together. They've been staying out them streets. Y'all go protest. Y'all got it. They've been watching their dollars. Yeah, we don't want to spend extra money with those who are not standing with the black community. Yeah, we may have to spend some dollars with you out of necessity, but all of the extra bullshit, yeah, we not doing that collectively here in the black community. I told y'all, my savings account is looking real nice because I'm not spending the money that I used to spend. And now I see this video. Black people are done with your racist shit, white people. The ancestors are stirring up something. We not moving in these streets alone. We are not. The ancestors are making things real clear. Do y'all feel that? Do y'all feel that? I feel it.
You cannot win a progressive social movement and be a racist at the same time. I've said that before, I'll say it as many times as it takes. And you give that message to anyone who needs to hear it one more time. The message is you cannot win a progressive social movement and be a racist at the same time. But I don't even blame folks for thinking that you can. While he was still running for president, Abraham Lincoln was accused of supporting black rights. And accused is the word. Yes, there was like a debate question. They were like, can you address this? Because we heard you like them Negroes. He said, whoa there, not too much. He said that if I could keep the Union together without freeing a single slave, I would do that. If I could keep the Union together by freeing some and not all, I would do that. If I could keep the Union together by freeing all of them, I would do that. Unity was more important than recognizing the humanity of black people. Every time I think of something called the Compromise of 1877, I just have to, 1877, Ulysses S. Grant was on his way out of the presidency. The Republicans were the good guys at the time, and their candidate, Rutherford B. Hayes, was 1 vote short in the Electoral College of winning the presidency. And the Democrats said, we'll let you be president, but here's the thing, you have got to stop federally protecting them black people, and you will continue to let Confederates govern the South. And they caved. They did it, and Rutherford B. Hayes was president. And then once the stolen United States needed to pay people to work, then we have a labor movement. And let me tell you something, racism is the original union buster. Labor unions broke up because of infighting and disagreements. You want to know what they was infighting about? They were infighting about whether or not to let black workers into the unions, about black workers being admitted into the union, but not given equal voting power. All of those covert operations by the police, corporations, and Ronald Reagan, they were just fanning the flames of the racism that was already there. Everybody wanted to put on the back burner until later, and then they ran out of later, and all the air traffic controllers got fired, and our federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. A brief history. This country has taught you by example that you should cave to racism in exchange for small increments of change, neglecting to tell you, of course, that racism is the reason why the change you get is so incremental and small. And that's a win-win for them, because that's also what has you thinking that you can tear down this system without anti-racism in your toolbox. How are you supposed to fight against our rights being stripped away when you don't even have a full knowledge or respect for the reason why conservatives hate government oversight so much? The conservatives hate the DOJ, the Department of Justice, because it was created during Reconstruction so that the feds could prosecute the Klan. How you gonna pull that conservative, that liberal person, whoever, further to the left if you can't even respect the fact that racism is older than any of these political parties? Don't you ever forget that we had slave codes before we had a constitution. We had slave codes before we had a constitution. So what I want to know is why anyone on any part of the left think that they could put racism on the back burner and have a successful movement against a system that makes racism a priority. You cannot win a progressive social movement and be a racist at the same time.
Every time I speak about oppression, some white guy somewhere always gotta pop off like, well, what about white people? We're oppressed too. Man, miss me with that weak ass take. You ain't oppressed cause you're white. You might be struggling, sure. You might be broke. You might be in pain, but that ain't because you're white. That's cause this system beat the life out of poor folks, sick folks, working folks. White people just happen to fall into those groups too. That don't make whiteness a burden. It makes poverty the common enemy. And let's be real, if white skin was all it took to be oppressed, then explain why the average white household still holds over 6 times the wealth of the average black household in 2025. That gap hasn't shrunk in decades. It's still alive and well and fed by centuries of theft, redlining, slavery, and Jim Crow. You were born into a system rigged for you, and now that whole machine's breaking down, and you want to pretend you're starting at the same line? Nah. They'll throw one rich black celebrity or brown CEO in your face like, see, racism's over, but you can't cherry pick the top 0.01% and ignore the rest. One Oprah don't undo 400 years. The median black household wealth in 2025 is about $24,000. Latino households around $36,000. White households over $150,000. That ain't just a coincidence. That is generational theft. That's the game being rigged from day one. So if you're white and struggling, that ain't whiteness working against you. That's capitalism gutting the working class. Every shade of it. But you still ain't getting profiled in traffic. You still ain't getting schools defunded in your zip code just because you live there. You ain't burying family members from police bullets at the same damn rate. White folks don't carry that burden. You don't carry that fear. I'm not saying you ain't suffering. I'm saying don't lie about why. Don't confuse your paycheck with your pigment. You're broke because the rich treat labor like garbage, not because the world hates white people. That's not oppression, that's economic violence. And we all need to fight that together. But if you go around acting like your whiteness is a curse, like you're the real victim now, you're not just wrong, you're a part of the problem. James Baldwin said, as long as you think you're white, there's no hope for you. You want power? Link arms with the folks who've had a boot on their necks since before you were born. Quit crying for sympathy over your skin tone. That ain't never been the issue. You're not oppressed for being white. You're oppressed for being poor, disabled, overworked, underpaid, and disposable, just like the rest of us. And until you get that straight, you're fighting shadows while the real enemy keeps winning. So here's the deal. We rise together or we stay crushed alone. I don't care what color your skin is. If you're tired of getting bled dry by the rich, if you're done watching your people die poor while billionaires party, then stand up. Organize, fight like hell, not as white, black, brown, or anything else, but as the people, the workers, the ones they fear when we're united.
This is a message for the Black community and those who support it. We are still resting, but there is a tide shift. For one, 47 is very confused as to why we are not taking to the streets. He doesn't understand it. He just knew that using tax dollars to tear up the Black Lives Matter street, that was going to do it. Tearing down the buildings with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, he was sure that floating the rumor of pardoning Derek Chauvin would do it. His executive order to bring back segregation, all of his attacks on DEI, even though Black people benefit the least from DEI, he was sure that would do it. It hasn't. And one thing that they didn't plan on at the end of the election, something that happened on November 5th, 2024, is when we all went into the voting booth and voted, and we were the only demographic that was united and held strong for democracy in this country. The 92% of Black women who knew the assignment and knew what the stakes were, because we always do. The 78% of black men who held it down because they knew what would happen if they didn't. The black community knew the assignment. We became on the same wavelength. When Target did their thing, we collectively made them an example. Walmart, also losing money. Amazon, also losing money. Now, granted, allies that support the black community, the LGBT community, women, they've all been a part of that too. But black people have collectively been on the same wavelength. But in Trump's desperation to get us out into the streets, he is becoming more and more dangerous with his executive orders. On April 28th of this year, he signed an executive order. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. Now, we all know that Trump don't give a crap about innocent citizens, because if he did, he would care about due process, and he wouldn't try to get rid of habeas corpus, because that is how you know that a citizen is innocent or not. So what they want to do in this executive order is give cops more power and permission to profile, to brutalize people that they just think are guilty. That means us. He is trying to create another George Floyd, another situation that will get us into the streets. I say this so that we all can be cautious and we can all see and know what he is trying to do. This executive order further militarizes the police that were already militarized with tanks and riot gear that apparently they do not need when people are protesting that are of a lighter shade, but they need it for us. This also further protects law enforcement officers who are accused of misconduct or police brutality. Protects them because we know that they need to make it home to their families, but you don't need to make it home to yours. They fear for their life, even though they're the ones holding the weapon and pointing it at your back. This executive order also does something that we have already seen. This executive order threatens state and local officials who discriminate by enacting diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. If state and local officials are being inclusive, advocating for diversity and equity, they can be charged with discrimination charges. Now, Trump's DOJ's Civil Rights Department, who have defended the civil rights of people for 70 years now, they are no longer defending the rights of black and brown people, LGBT people, women, all of those people who are usually discriminated against. They are no longer going to be representing them. So if you have an issue of discrimination, the DOJ will no longer represent you because of discrimination. Make it make sense. They will now be focusing their attention on discrimination against white Christian people because they are the most discriminated group by far. Yeah. Now, I say all this to say there's a tide shifting. Even though black people are resting, we are focusing in on our communities, our black-owned businesses, our children, our education, all of that. Yes, we need to continue doing all of that. I have seen a shift in the boldness of these racist people. Neo-Yahtzee rallies and marches up there in Kansas City. WHlTE women calling little autistic black children the N-word, getting $750,000 for that. But then there have been videos of black people letting those racist people know who think we are going back to the 1930s during the times that we were hanging in trees, that they were having picnics with us as the main course. Times where they could tell us which swimming pools to swim at, which water fountains to go to, where to sit on the bus. Alabama today is trying to resegregate its schools. Problem is, black people like me were born into freedom. It's going to be real hard to put that genie back in the box. So even though black people are resting, we're not going back to 1930. We are a different breed. But I say, be cautious, because 47 has already started putting things in place specifically for us, because he wants us to protest. And when we protest, he will enact martial law. And he already has the orders in place to do that. We need to know the enemy that we are fighting. So what do? Stay out of the street. Do not protest, no matter what happens. What we will do is we will continue to organize and protest with our wallets, cheer on our allies who are out in the street, strengthen the black community, and to be there for each other. We will continue to support black-owned business with our wallets and our presence. We will continue to be united as we were on the 5th of November 2024 when we try to save this country. We will continue to do what we do best, thrive in our excellence, even during the hardest times. Love y'all. I don't usually say this, but share this video to somebody that you think.
Capitalism is an economic system where goods, services, and wealth are controlled by private individuals and companies. It is all about competition, private property, and turning profit. Sound fair, right? But let me ask you this. What happens when the game starts and your people are already enslaved? Let's keep it real 100%. America's wealth did not come from innovation alone. It came from forced black labor. Enslaved Africans built the cotton empire. That cotton built banks, railroads, universities. Capitalism in America did not start with freedom. It started with black bondage. Racism is not just personal hate. It is a system that was built to protect white wealth and keep black people at the bottom. Jim Crow was not about separation. It was about locking black folks out of economic power. Redlining was not just a real estate issue. It was about keeping families from building generational wealth. Mass incarceration today, it is the new plantation, a billion-dollar industry built on black pain. Racism forced capitalism by keeping us as labor, never owners. Let's talk right now. The racial wealth gap is massive. White families have 10 times the wealth of black families. Black women are the most educated group in America, but are still underpaid and underworked. Black neighborhoods are overpoliced but underfunded. We also had a grind more, but the system was not made for us to win. This is not about laziness, it is about locked doors. Doors they keep telling us are open. Racism is not just violence, it is business. And black pain has always been profitable in this system. We do not just need reform, we need a revolution of values. Support black-owned businesses. Build cooperative economy, money that circulates in our community. Demand policies like reparations, universal healthcare, student loan forgiveness, all rooted in justice. Because capitalism without accountability will always prioritize profits over people. And racism makes that profit possible. The system was never broken. It was built this way, but we are not powerless. Every dollar black people spend, every protest they join, every truth we speak, that is power. So let's keep pushing for justice, for equity, for future where being black in America does not mean starting last in a race we never signed up for. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.